The Mega Drive has been on fire in recent years, with indie developers releasing games faster than you can say blast processing. Today we're going to have a look at 10 upcoming games for the console that I think are worth following. These are all in different states of production, some with large teams and some with teams of 2, so they may have wildly differing release dates. You can find links in the description to every dev team I mention if you want to keep an eye on their progress, and where applicable find the demo ROMs so you can play these yourself. There are also a ton of arcade ports in the works for the console, but I might show you those in another video. Bear in mind that all the demos and footage shown are early works in progress, so may not be indicative of the final game's quality. First up is Phantom Gear, being developed by Bits Rule Games. This was kickstarted in July of 2019, with the latest update being November 2022. This one will be published by Megacat Studios. This is an action platformer in which you control Josephine on a quest to avenge the death of her mother by a sinister force and of course save the world from evil. The first thing you'll notice about Phantom Gear is it looks so good. These graphics are just gorgeous and crisp, and yes, this is footage of the demo running on my Model 1 Mega Drive. The character animations are super smooth, the world is beautifully drawn with oodles of detail and vibrant colours, and the cutscenes are just stunning. Even the heads-up display looks good, which depicts your current health starting at 3 bars, your loot, and the currently equipped weapon. There's also an enemy health bar top right, and each and every enemy has one, which I love. You only usually see that in beat-em-ups. This is definitely shaping up to be one of the Mega Drive's best looking games. The controls are A to attack and B to jump, and C to dash once you've unlocked that skill. You leap your way through some quite tough platforming sections, finding green orbs and these gears that act as currency, while looking for secrets and shooting down enemies. This is your standard shot, which can be fired horizontally and vertically upwards. You'll find weapon upgrades along the way, which change your shot type and how it behaves. You can then collect another shot upgrade of the same type to make it more powerful, indicated by a plus symbol next to your equipped weapon icon. The thing I really like is that when you do collect an upgrade, you have the option to revert to your previous weapon should you not want it. The previous weapon is dropped and you have a few seconds to pick it up again before it vanishes. As you progress, Josephine learns new skills gained by finding these booths. The first you'll get is wall jump, and later the dash upgrade, double jump, and so on. You can also buy upgrades, weapons and health at shops. Here's where you spend your collected orbs and gears. Upgrading the size of your health bar will be especially useful. Some upgrades like this are permanent and some only last until you die. This is where I found the game quite unforgiving. It's really hard. You do find the occasional checkpoint which you'll return to if you die, but upon doing so you lose all your weapons and collected orbs. I found that often I didn't have enough to spend on what I wanted, then I'd die and lose it all. Very frustrating. I'm really hoping they introduce difficulty settings where you start with a larger health bar, as that would really help people who aren't very good like me, or maybe that's the wrong way to say it, maybe people who don't have patience like me. Still, it's really good fun and I can't wait to play the final game. The game's visual polish is undeniably impressive and the music is really jolly and catchy too. This is one to watch. You can find the demo on the Megacat Studios website below. Coloco, in development from Tuxedo Game Development Studios, was originally a Spectrum game. They're now developing it into a Mega Drive game and it's looking absolutely wonderful so far. This footage is from a demo ROM played on my Mega Drive, but it's not publicly available, so no sharing this one I'm afraid folks. This was a demo created for their recent display at Gamescom and they've very kindly given me access to it. This is essentially a modern take on games like Thrust, which I loved on the BBC all the way back in the 80s. You control a rescue craft tasked with rescuing downed pilots who have crashed their ships. Use your thrusters to very carefully navigate through the caverns and then set down gently next to these pilots in order to rescue them. Then make your way back to where you started. Sounds simple, but several factors come into play as you progress, each adding an extra level of challenge. For example, you may find flying creatures in your path, and you have limited fuel, which can occasionally be refueled at these gas stations. There are also upgrades to your craft to collect, like this drill which can drill away rocks blocking your way. The drill also runs on batteries, so you'll have to collect plenty of juice for it too. All of this has to be taken into account while avoiding collisions with the environment and taking care not to descend too quickly to avoid crashing. Controls are simple: A to use your thrusters and B to use your equipped tool, and the flight controls are very responsive and allow for very accurate navigation through the tight spaces. These platforms are found along the route which seem to act like checkpoints, so if you do crash, you return to the last one you landed on. At the top left you can see your current fuel and number of lives. There's also a timer which will come into play in the final release. There will be two game modes, normal and hard. In normal you'll gain bonuses for completing the levels within a set time, and in hard mode it's a race against the clock. If you run out of time, you die. The original had 30 levels across 3 different worlds, and I assume the Mega Drive port will have at least the same. Just a quick addendum here: after speaking with the developers, the final game will have 50 levels featuring 5 worlds with 10 levels in each. In addition to this, you can play through the entire original Spectrum version as well, accessed from the main menu. They've also shown some teasers of World 2, currently in development. The graphics are simple but very good and clean, and I find the craft animations particularly appealing. The music is top notch too. The developers are still pondering on some sort of save feature, so I'm not yet sure if there will be one. And they're even considering the possibility of QR codes for your best times, which can be uploaded to an online leaderboard. As I said with my recent review of the Metroidvania Life on Mars for the console, it's great seeing different and new genres appearing on the Mega Drive, and Coloco is certainly unlike anything else on the system. Very excited for this one. Keep up to date with its progress on Twitter, link below, where the devs post frequent updates. There's also a link below to Nape Games, who published the Spectrum version, but I'm not sure if they'll be handling the Mega Drive release as well. Next is ZPF, or ZPF if you're stateside. This is being developed by ZPF Team, which I believe is a team of 3, and will be published again by Mega Cat Studios. Unfortunately, no demo of this one, so this is footage from the devs on Twitter. It's a side-scrolling shooter which promises an engaging scoring system, mid and end level bosses, and secrets galore. There are 3 selectable playable characters, and the game's detailed stages have fantasy, futuristic and alien themes. I'm not the biggest side-scrolling shooter fan, but this looks pretty cool for a Mega Drive shooter, and I know the hype for this game has been considerable. You can find a link below to its page on Mega Cat's site, as well as the ZPF team's Twitter. Astebros is a prequel to Demons of Astebros from Neofid Studios. I already covered a demo of this one a while back, but progress since has been significant. It was originally kickstarted in March 2022, and their most recent update post was in December. This is a roguelite multiplayer game featuring 3 playable characters: a knight, ranger and mage. It can also be played solo. Controls are A for attack, B to jump and C to block. You can double jump, double tap down on the D-pad to drop from ledges, and press down and block to drop bombs if you have any. The dungeons are randomly generated, so no game will be like the last. As you make your way through, you'll find all manner of loot and upgrades, like increased damage or swords with better range. At the top you have a small map showing the dungeon's rooms, so you can see which you've accessed, and you can expand this to a larger map by pressing start. The story will take place before Demons of Astebros, in which the 3 heroes will scout the long lost continent of Astebros in order to explore its hidden treasures and mysteries. It's also worth noting that the soundtrack is being composed by the awesome Mega Drive composer Savage Regime, who did the music for Xenocrisis. There is of course a demo available for this one if you want to try it. Some of you will be pleased to hear that there will be a ROM only version of this one, which is available to pre-order below on their website, along with car only and boxed copies. If Astebros is anywhere near as good as its predecessor Demons of Astebros, it will be a winner. This one probably has the least amount of actual content and info available, and we don't even know the name yet, but it's worth mentioning because of the man behind it, Yuzo Koshiro. Most will know Koshiro from his legendary Mega Drive soundtracks, including Revenge of Shinobi and the Streets of Rage series. Here he is signing my Streets of Rage records. But perhaps not so well known is that his company Ancient actually developed games including Streets of Rage 2 and The Story of Thor, aka Beyond Oasis. They're back making a side-scrolling shooter for the Mega Drive, and it will be Koshiro's first time working as a designer on a game since The Story of Thor way back in 1994. And that's really all we know. There are a couple of images he posted on Twitter, that's it. In the tweet, Koshiro states that it will look like an old shoot 'em up harking back to the 80s, and they are hoping for a physical release. And perhaps most exciting of all, he'll also be composing the soundtrack. Watch this space. Kickstarted in February 2022 with the most recent update in December, Affinity Sorrow is an upcoming turn-based RPG from Second Dimension. They're no strangers to developing for the Mega Drive, having previously made The Curse of Ilmore Bay and Ira the Crow Maiden. The developers have said that Affinity Sorrow is inspired by the early Final Fantasy games, Lufia, Breath of Fire, Dragon Quest and the Mana series. This footage is from the available demo running on my Mega Drive, which you can download from their Kickstarter page. It's really only a proof of concept, so all you can do is walk around town and talk to NPCs, but it does feel like the 16-bit era RPGs. The game is set in Tirn, a world full of areas to explore, people to meet and extensive lore to unearth. Your journey will take you to various environments, from small villages to green pastures, dark caves and grand castles. You play as Nex, a young and rather innocent lad who must abandon his quiet village life when an interdimensional threat looms over the land. On his way, Nex will advance his abilities and encounter companions to join him on his adventures. Second Dimension promise a story that will be affected by your actions and decisions, unravelling a complex tale full of joy, sorrow and humour. It will also offer an engaging and intuitive turn-based combat system with a plethora of attacks and special abilities for each character. Of course, in addition to learning new spells and abilities and obtaining new equipment, characters will level up as they gain experience, increasing their hit points, mana and damage. As well as the main story quests, Affinity Sorrow will offer many side quests and even activities like fishing. The demo is a very early build, but graphically it looks promising, as is the music, being composed by Engelbard Music. The Cursed Legacy is a follow-up to The Cursed Knight, developed for the Mega Drive by GGS Studio. Another platform run and gun, it looks like a bigger and bolder version of the first game, with chunkier character designs and even more action. At the moment we only have some footage to go on, but GGS Studio have promised that a playable demo is not far off. This teaser trailer shows off some of the action-packed run and gun gameplay, as well as some rather impressive 3D animation. If it's as fun as The Cursed Knight was, this will definitely be one to keep an eye on. You can keep track of its progress by following their Twitter, link below. Black Jewel Reborn is being developed by PSCD Games. It was kickstarted in July of last year and the most recent update was in December. This is the one level demo running on my Mega Drive and there's a download link below. It's a fantasy side-scrolling hack and slash starring two barbarian warriors with very typical barbarian names, Ryan and Julia. The story is your classic bad guy steals powerful jewel, plans to take over the land sort of thing. You can play as either character or both in co-op, which is a welcome feature. Ryan has a sword and Julia is equipped with a whip, kinky. For all intents and purposes, the weapons function in the same way. In addition to regular attacks, you also have a special dash attack which can be executed after you've killed a set number of enemies. Once you do, your weapon icon at the top there will start flashing and you can press C to execute the dash attack. Both characters have the same move. Other controls are A to attack, B to jump, and pressing X on a 6-button controller uses your God magic, which summons a god to do devastating damage to every enemy on screen, Golden Axe style. I'm not sure what you press on a 3-button pad, but I'm assuming there will be some sort of button combination in place of the X button. The number of these magical attacks you have are shown at the top, the number next to that flame icon, and you start off with one but can collect vials for more. There are also red health vials to collect, which completely restore your health, and plenty of loot to grab. I'm not sure if loot will have a use in the final game, maybe for buying items, but in this demo it only adds to your overall score. Your health meter is shown as an image of your character at the top left, with the flesh slowly peeling away to reveal a skeleton as you take damage. Once depleted, you'll lose a life, and you can see the number of lives next to it. If you do lose a life, you carry on immediately rather than being set back at all. The graphics and sound are great in this one, and I found the game more enjoyable than I expected. I don't know, for some reason I always expect these games to be too hard, but this first level at least was well balanced. Good mix of enemies too, although they will need to vary them level by level to avoid it becoming monotonous. Definitely looking forward to playing more of it. Zabu is a beat 'em up being developed by Zabu team, which is a team of 2 guys, so progress is quite slow. There's no demo of this one, I don't think it's even that far in development. These are clips shared by the dev team on Twitter. But they're clearly enough to whet our appetites, and the visual style is very striking and looks incredibly cartoony for a Mega Drive game. There's also footage of these running on original hardware, so it is certainly achievable. Currently they just seem to be working on the animations, combo attacks and enemy AI, so it's early days. I'm not sure where and when this will be available, but you can follow the development on Twitter. As I said, progress seems to be slow, but they do post frequent updates, including a lot of the process, so it's quite cool being able to follow the behind the scenes stuff. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce this one. Irena or Irena Genesis Metal Fury from White Ninja Studio is another demo I covered a while back. This was kickstarted in January 2021 and I did a video on the demo 2 years ago, so quite some time has passed. It's still in development, with the last update being in December 2022, and it seems to have progressed a fair way. The publishing will be handled by Mega Cat Studios in the US and Broke Studio elsewhere. Another side-scrolling shooter, I'll admit that this one didn't wow me with the original demo. It's decent, but I think these games have been a bit oversaturated in recent years, so they really need that extra oomph to stand out. You have a button to fire, a button to adjust between the 3 speeds indicated at the top, and a button to execute a smart bomb attack. Fill the strength meter at the top there by shooting down enemies, and once filled you can perform one of these special attacks, which is a devastating special inspired by Revenge of Shinobi, damaging all enemies on screen. There are 3 shot types: a spread shot, rockets and lasers. If you collect more than one of any power up, it will upgrade that shot to a more powerful version. There are also options to collect which further supplement your firepower, and a shield. Looking at some of the stuff they've been posting on Twitter, there may be a more complex upgrade system in place by the time it's finished. It's okay graphically though, and I do like what I've heard of the soundtrack. It does look like it's improved though. The final game will have 7 levels, cutscenes and 4 difficulty modes. I didn't pre-order this one as I'm still waiting to see how it looks when it's finished. Download the demo and judge for yourself. So that was 10 of the Mega Drive's upcoming games. Let me know in the comments which of these you're most excited for. It's such a thrill seeing all these games being developed for the console, and such a variety of genres too. We really are being spoiled. Do check out all the links in the description below so you can keep track of their progress. Thanks for watching.